Very good morning to you, and thanks for joining us on the Voice of the People 90.3 FM for the front page review. My name is Nyamgul Agaji. On this second day of January 2026, we're glad to know that you're there. We've made it this far, so let's enjoy every moment of our day. All right, on the program, we bring you headlines on some of our national dailies and expect you to contribute your own voice to whatever the discussion might be. You say it, we amplify it. That is what we do on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. So we're going to, as usual, read you some of the headlines and then join Rufai Oseni to give us his thoughts on the headlines. And after that, we're going to have a guest in the house. He is the secretary of the Coalition of United Political Parties of Nigeria, CUPP, and he's going to be talking, helping us to x-ray some of these headlines and talk especially about the future of the opposition in Nigeria as 2027 approaches really fast. Okay, quickly now let's go to the front pages. Let's begin with the Punch newspaper, which leads with bank bad loan spike after CBN withdraws forbearance. Bank bad loans spike after CBN withdraws forbearance. Okay, that's the leading story on the Punch newspaper. Other stories are Group begs Governor Sule to revive dilapidated Nasarawa Hospital. Okay, these are things that make us worry why people have to beg for the things that are their rights. Group begs Governor Sule to revive dilapidated Nasarawa hospitals. Manufacturing tipped for 3.1% growth, 10.2% GDP contribution. That is for 2026. That's the outlook. Lagos Plaza fire, Lasema compiles names of missing persons. And we also know New Year Eve's fire destroys 24 electronic shops in Lagos. Unfortunate news. Wike Bauchi governor lock horns over terrorism financing claims. Remember that the governor of Bauchi had said that he was being witch hunted because he refused to enter the APC, and that's why they're doing what they're doing to him. And Wike has responded. You might want to read that story and see what is happening. Bodija, 30 billion naira federal government. Anthony Joshua's driver detained over Lagos-Ibadan expressway crash. Okay. And then Akpabio withdraws all defamation suits after priest's sermon. Okay, some people might want to know what really happened. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio has directed his lawyers to withdraw all ongoing defamation lawsuits against several individuals, saying he was moved by counsel during a New Year Mass. Speaking at the Sacred Heart Parish in Uyo on Thursday, Akpabio said he had filed nearly 9 lawsuits against individuals he accused of defaming him. And remember that in 2025, Akpabio had filed several high-profile defamation lawsuits, including one against colleague Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. This news just gladdens my heart and also worries me that if he could do this because he heard a sermon that spoke to his heart, that means there's a lot that can be done to change the narrative from the pulpit. Are men of God doing enough to speak truth to power so that the people can change? Okay, this is one change that came from the pulpit, and we hope that more will come, and there will be more men of God that will speak so fiery and so convincing for some of these people to have a change of heart. ADC faction rejects Obi, disowns Enugu registration. Interesting news. And then we go to Daily Trust newspaper. APC states near 30. That is the leading headline. So All Progressives Congress, APC, is including or inching closer to controlling 30 of the 36 states of the Federation following Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang's exit from the PDP. All right, so we also have other news items. Bala Wike exchange words. Jigawa destroys 5,520 cartons of expired noodles. All right, so we move to the Vanguard newspaper, which leads with 2026 Atiku, Obi, Khan, PDP, ACF, MBF chart way forward for Nigeria. So maybe you should read that story as well to see if it aligns with what you think Nigeria should be doing in 2026. We also have Kanu Ekpa's imprisonment improved Southeast Nigeria's security. That is according to the army. The imprisonment of Simon Ekpa and Nnamdi Kanu, according to the army, improved the security situation in the Southeast. Other news items are the National Assembly to clarify alleged discrepancies in gazetted tax acts. The monarch and son kidnapped in Kwara Palace attack. We also have economic activities peak as CBN's PMI rises to 57.6 index points. Well, we have federal government to identify export products in 774 local government areas under AFCFTA drive. Okay, so we have the Sun newspaper next. PDP's bleeding continues as Plateau governor joins APC. That's the leading headlines. And we also have Ayede Tiwa grants pardon to 77 prisoners. New Year Eve's accident. Police confirmed death of 2 villagers in Ebonyi state. Unfortunately, I think those villagers are brothers and they lost their life. Governor Abiodun grants clemency to 71 inmates. All right, on the Daily Post, we have Riley Moore raises alarm over ISIS threats in Nigeria. Remember the U.S. representative that came to Nigeria to do some fact findings and all that. He has raised alarm over ISIS threats in Nigeria. Convert to Islam or die. ISWAP burns down Christian village in Adamawa, Nigeria. In Lagos State, LASMA dismisses 5 officers, demotes 9 over misconduct. Ondo governor vows to hunt down attackers of Ikwele police station. And AFCON, Mozambique players get fat bonuses to beat Nigeria. So they have incentives to beat Nigeria. What will happen next? National Assembly release certified tax bill amid Gazette discrepancy claims. That's on the Guardian newspaper. Opposition brands 2025 year of hardship, urges change in 2027. 2026, a year to test policies, shape politics, measure performance. That's a story there we might need to read. And residents flee as gunmen attack Ondo police station on New Year's Eve. And finally, on the Nation newspaper, federal lawmakers unveil tax laws. Fubara's friends, Secondus Omehia, others group vow to back Tinubu's re-election bid. And Mba promises accelerated consolidation. Now, there's also a story. Federal government's 30 billion cash for Bodija explosion victims intact, says Oyo governor. And again, police suspend enforcement of vehicle tinted glass permit. Okay, so now we've heard that. Okay, those are the stories making the headlines, or some of the stories making the headlines today. And we'll now quickly just join Rufai Oseni to give us his thoughts on the headlines of this morning. Stay with us.
Right, a couple of stories making the round. So, after the coming into the ADC that Obi did yesterday, now we're having a faction of the ADC come out to say that they reject and disown Obi's Enugu registration. Anyway, this faction is not new. If you remember the faction led by Nafiu Gombe, the ADC have been fighting this even since the time, the ADC declared and they said the structure of the party was going to be taken away, from the then leader, the then chairman of the ADC. I think also Kachiku also has a leaning towards this. Kachiku was the last presidential candidate of the ADC. And, the Nafiu Gombe distanced itself from the reported defection and registration of the former Labour Party presidential candidate at its Enugu zonal office. And, at the event, there were many top Southeast leaders, political instructions, even Engineer Barry said was joining the fold of the ADC. A couple of other lawmakers followed suit, but Gombe stressed that it became important for them to clarify misleading information circulating in the public over membership registration process. He said ADC is founded on order, discipline, and strict adherence to constitution, adding that his member registration is clearly defined, and he was talking about it coming to their attention. So, I mean, definitely we know this is going to pan out. So, these are some of the bottlenecks here and there as regards almost all political parties in the country. I mean, only save for APC that we've not really had any big buoyant faction. And I keep making the argument, it's just because APC is the power. And there's a lot to share among them. So even if you're having a factional matter, once they call you to order, things will step down. I mean, even when Peter Obi did join the Labour Party then, in fact, I remember I interviewed somebody that said he too was a factional chairman. And I remember how even this same Abure that is fighting against Peter Obi today and casting all sorts of aspersion over Peter Obi, I remember even him, Abure, went back and forth with fighting with Lamidi Papa, getting the court resolution for him to finally stable. But the funny thing is, people like Arabambi, that were with Lamidi Papa before, now they are with Abure. And it's just so amazing, what goes on in this political structure. But let's say it pans out. Let's see how they'll be able to navigate through all of this. Obviously, it shows that this Nafiu Gombe faction just wants to make trouble. I mean, they are not ready for peace. And even when you look at the likes of Ibe Kachiku, he too was not sounding like someone that was ready for peace. For them, it was, let's do things the right way. When politicians adamant on the line, let's do things the right way, it definitely speaks volume. There was a bandit attack in Ekpele War yesterday in Ondo State, and it really shows that this is getting close to home. We keep talking about this level of insecurity and banditry. Yes, for some that think that the President Enugu is doing his best, sometimes I say, okay, yes, we thank Donald Trump, for helping fight and all of that. But Ekpele One, you've also had many other attack by these terrorists. You remember the Owo Axis massacre a couple of years ago. And this bandit attack is not surprising anyway. But the question is, how can we nip it in the bud? Kwara, we also saw how some women even had to go out there to protest the other day about the situation in Kwara, say that the government should save them. And what happened next? We saw that there were some men in front of the government house that were beating them. But the truth is, some of these people have come out to say, the state government have come out to say that they have nothing to do with that. So if we have a case like this, bandit attacking a hospital, I say a hospital, bandit attacking a police station in this area of Owo, and then it really leaves much to be desired. So, but in the coming days, we'll see how this pans out. This year, we need to be able to fight insecurity, and we need to be able to call a spade a spade. 2026 marks more for robust economic growth and all of that. I just think that's just rhetoric with President Tinubu. In fact, it's already a year that we are not even paying attention to fiscal discipline because we are not able to meet our budget obligations. We had very ambitious budgets that obviously we know we cannot meet. And that's why when people are making talking about, oh yes, new tax law, game changer, just look at it and say, please, it's not the new tax that will be collected that will make Nigeria meet its revenue targets. Even the year they told you that we met our revenue targets, thank God for Minister Wale that they are not trying to witch hunt. That came out to say that no, we had a shortfall. So don't let people deceive you with all their narrative. Yeah, we're not saying we should not ask tax reforms, but what we're also asking is, please, where's the accountability? Despite the fact that you will be paying tax heavily this year, or we paying tax this year, that some reforms, there are some changes in tax law, you will not still have accountability. They will not still tell you how monies are being spent. They will not still give you the level of accountability you deserve. We will not still have any level of fiscal discipline and accountability. That's just it. We are still going to borrow. See, we have a budget shortfall of I think close to about 20 trillion this year. Our budget deficit since President Tinubu came in alone is going to about 50 trillion. They will not still give you accountability. So let's stop deceiving ourselves and let us stop couching it as game changer and everything and all of that. It's not that all of a sudden with this new tax law that they are going to be capturing so much, With even the pre-existing tax law, they were already talking about, they were against. Government will still say propaganda one way or the other. So it is for you to be able to decide the questions you'll be asking, this government at this time. And that's why we are asking questions like, okay, this even tax law, let's talk about if there are allegations of forgery. Let us treat it, let us do it in a transparent way. But President Tinubu said it's not enough to be able to change the order of the day. Should be, what's it called? The last tax, we did, laws we did, was through the Finance Act in 2020. We didn't have problems with the implementation of that Finance Act. There were no allegations of, there were no allegations of tampering with the law. Shebi Buhari signed Finance Act in 2020. And there were many provisions there. Shebi it was in Finance Act 2020 that we increased VAT rates. In fact, that Finance Act 2020 was the first time we bumped up VAT rate since I think about the 1990s. So, you see, a government that doesn't have a culture of accountability, a government that doesn't have a culture of listening to the people and taking them seriously, the politicians will just do it. And you see what a lot of these politicians are screaming is that they will just use all of these provisions as a way to be able to fight people that are against them and all of that. So that's just it. Our governor Yedatiwa is saying that we'll fish out perpetrators, bombed police station. That's another one. So if police station is being bombed, we should be able to look at all of this matter and look at it delicately, because it just looks as though that we're not going anywhere as regards insecurity. Although we can argue that we've made one or two impacts, but it's very sad. Chelsea has announced the departure of head coach Enzo Maresca, ending less than 2 years in charge after he took over. They confirmed the decision saying both parties have agreed to part way as the season enters a decisive phase. Very sad one. Maresca has done his best. He couldn't seem to get things on track for Chelsea. The club is expected to name a new manager ahead of the Premiership clash against Man City on Sunday. All right, we've taken final decision on 62 nominees NJC. Despite the fact that there was a lawyer that sent me a message that there are many cases against some of these, judges in federal high courts. I mean, because there are cases of these judges, some of them lawyers that want to be converted, and there are many petitions against them. It will be recalled that 34 applicants who passed the CBT were disqualified by Federal Judicial Service. Meanwhile, the council, which is built to meet on January 13 and 14 to consider issues surrounding the Federal High Court judge appointment process, in a statement made available to newsmen, explained that the initial qualifying test was solely conducted by FJSC. He really faulted the claim that 34 lawyers disqualified by the commission have failed the integrity test. There are many, and some of the lawyers that have sent me messages on this matter are just perplexed and saying, what is going on as regards the state of play of our judges, in this country. But it's Nigeria. Anything happens. Monarch's son kidnapped in Kwara Palace attack. So you see what we're talking about. Police station bombed by bandits just today. Monarch's son kidnapped in Kwara Palace attack. That's another story making the rounds. There's confusion in Ilere, community of Ifelodi local government area, as traditional ruler of Asimi Olanipeku and one of his children, Laolu, serving as NYC member, were abducted by a gang of bandits during a violent attack on the royal palace. So we can see what is going on. And this level of insecurity is not being stemmed. So when the government says, we are working against insecurity and all of that, what are they working against? Nobody is safe in this country. When we say President Tinubu has failed as regards insecurity now, some of his supporters say, no, don't say that. You're abusing us and everything. In fact, some of them will think it's by going to take a picture of a NEFS strike that happens almost every time. And they put it on social media and be saying, you can see that he's doing well. You see, for all of those that support propaganda, the day it will affect you, it will knock on your door. May God allow people to be able to speak for you. For all of you that support propaganda. And I keep telling people, remember Martin Niemöller, that say first they came for the Jews, I didn't speak up, but when they came for me, there was nobody left to speak up for me. See the case of insecurity again. Gunmen abducted Maruf Musa, former member of Ogun State House of Assembly, representing Ogun Waterside, was reportedly kidnapped on Tuesday night in Ogun Waterside, LGA. So you are having a lot of kidnappings, you are having a lot of killing, you are having a high level of insecurity. See, 4 killed, 45 injured as herders attack Nasarawa community. All of these are all the insecurity stories. First, going into 2nd, of January, no fewer than 4 persons are feared killed, over 45 injured when suspected armed herders attack Akunza Ashia community. So, see, look at the cases that are going on, that are being reported. Look at the cases. Okay, 6 dead, 4 rescued in both mishap. Another very sad one. Till today, look at the people that died in the rubble in GNI building in Lagos Island. Look at the story of some of them that they said they were supposed to go abroad, but they died in that rubble. They called while they were in the rubble. Imagine the pain at which they called, but nobody was there to speak up for them. And when we are saying all of this, see, you cannot like Nigeria more than us. We that we speak the truth. If I will speak the truth, I will speak it so firmly. It's because we can't wait for it to work, because we see the great possibility at which it can work, and we are not seeing that working. We are not seeing the working. That's just it. So look at the insecurity cases. Look at all of it. So for all of you expecting any dynamism from this administration, I don't see anything that will happen. At first, it's not going to be a governance here. It's not going to be done as regards governance. It's going to be a heavy political year. In fact, it has started. I'm sure you have been seeing it on your television screens and all of that. So let's just keep saying things the way they are, so that things will pan out well for our country, and at least we're able to get things done. I know that we are announcing new tax bill forwards to National Assembly, so I think a lot of the states are beginning to pick up the new tax bill for a great level of domestication. But please, this year, let's make it a year of accountability. If you see anything, say it. Challenge. Despite the fact that some propagandists will want to come and shut you down and say, what are you saying? You don't know what is happening and all of that. No. Challenge it. Speak up. That's just it. Let your voice be heard. Appeal court opposed the death sentence of Hanifa's case. The Court of Appeal sitting in Kano has opposed the death sentence imposed on Abdul Malik Tanko, the killer of the young Hanifa girl. That case made the rounds a couple of years ago when it happened. That young beautiful girl that was killed and hurt. So the court is saying that we will be able that we are going to uphold the death sentence for the killers. Tax laws now mobilizes for nationwide protests. So there's going to be a mobilization, and Nigerian Association of Nigerian Students are going to mobilize for a nationwide protest immediately to take effect today. In fact, I think a lawmaker too is also going to go ahead and take on the case. And I would like to call on journalists covering the National Assembly that probably look out for that in the coming days. It's also declared that January 14 as a National Day of Action against the implementation of the controversial tax reforms law. We are just saying things should be done properly. This is not the first time. 5 years ago, we did the tax reform. That was where they upgraded VAT. In fact, that was where they first put the provision that some, some businesses that earn about 25 million threshold or thereabout will not be entitled to taxes. That was there when they first put that provision in there. So let's stop deceiving ourselves. We didn't hear any hula baloo as regards that. This one, why are we hearing a lot of hula baloo as regards that? That's just it. And we should be able to ask questions. We should be able to ask questions. Questions about why is it that you have a particular company that gets commissions for collecting of taxes in Lagos, like of Alpha Beta. How are we having all of those intermediaries? These are the concerns people are raising as regards till tomorrow.
A lot of people are not asking the question, how do a politician like Yari, how did he get over $750 million to be able to invest in Enugu? A lot of things are just happening, but they're just preying on the ignorance and the nonchalance of Nigerians. Benue government signed 695 billion 2026 budget. Let's see how they're able to raise. Nigeria has to face Mozambique in a round of 16. Anthony Joshua has been discharged from hospital. Very sad one. He had to go and even see, I think, at the funeral home, the friends of his that passed during that accident. Very sad one. A very sad one. Let's see how all of these stories pan out in the coming days. So we'll keep giving you all of this information. We'll keep stirring up all these conversations and hoping that something will be done about them.
Okay, we're so glad that you are still there. We just listened to Rufai Oseni giving us his thoughts about the headlines this morning. And what are your thoughts? But this morning we're being joined by the national spokesman of a coalition of United Political Parties, CUPP, and the convener of New Direction for Nigeria movement. National spokesman CUPP, that's a coalition of United Political Parties of Nigeria, I might add, and the convener of New Direction for Nigeria movement in the person of Comrade Mark Adebayo. Comrade Mark Adebayo, good morning and welcome to Front Page Review on Voice of the People 90.3 FM.
Yeah, good and good morning, listeners. Thank you for having me this morning.
Okay.
It's a pleasure being here.
Yeah. It's a lot to handle this morning. The headlines are screaming and all that. Let's begin with what Adebayo, who is not you anyway, former presidential candidate and leader of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Adewale Adebayo, has stated. He said that 2025 marked Tinubu's abuse of power, deepening hardship. Those were his words. How would you summarize 2025 in your own words?
Oh, well, my opinion will not be too far away from what Prince Adewale Adebayo has said, as you have read out this morning. Because, you see, we have a presidency that doesn't seem to understand the assignments of a president and what that office represents in terms of performance for the development of a nation, for the progress of a nation, for the security of a nation, and for the peace and unity of a nation. The current government under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not seem to understand the assignment meant for the president of a country like Nigeria. One thing that you can actually praise the president for, that you acknowledge in his capacity, the fact that he is a very, very good politician in terms of the fact that he knows how to win an election. But he knows next to nothing about running a country, about administering a country, about having solutions for the progress of the country. You can see, in terms of politics, he has factually destroyed all opposition political parties. All governors are now in APC, minus maybe 2 or 3. You know, people are moving in their droves into the APC. He came in 2023 by whatever means he won the president. So he knows, and Hitler is not taking. If the opposition does not get our acts right, this man, despite his parlous records, despite his terribly, failed records as a president, might just run away with the presidency again in 2027, except you stand up, except you are more united, except you are more serious, except you are more focused, except you are more determined and well organized, No, not this one, discordant tunes everywhere. Because we are dealing with someone who is a master in the game of politics and election winning or election rigging or election manipulation, whatever you call it. But the man knows the power game. He knows the power game. He's a very poor student of good governance, but he's a very good student of politics and winning elections. Because it is inexplicable how a government with this type of terrible records, that is this party that has become the center of attraction for sitting governors who otherwise have won election as governors in their different states under another political party platform, but now rushing and decamping into the APC, that we know that it has a terrible record in the past 10 years. So there is nothing to write home about in terms of performance for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's not only 2025 as Adebayo Adewale has said, but from the moment he took over up to now, the only thing we see that we have been seeing a progression of retrogression. That is the record. And 2025 was a terrible year. This year, in terms of governance, I do not see anything that will dramatically change in terms of security. Well, a little bit of security improvement because America is breathing down his neck, perhaps, but maybe that euphoria has even died down now, and they are settling for the 2027 general elections. Quite unfortunate. So I align with Mr. Adewale Adebayo's position about his assessment of the current government for the year gone by.
Okay, so you just said unless the opposition comes together and speaks with one voice, more or less, that's what you said, we might just find the sitting president, just walking away with victory in 2027. Now, there's worry about the camp of the opposition, which is being fronted or which has like ADC at the vanguard for now. And then we have a candidate that has just entered ADC. Already we are seeing that ADC faction has rejected him. That's talking about Peter Obi, and they're disowning the Enugu registration because of one thing or the other. We've seen the same thing in Labour Party that made Peter Obi to walk away, and Abure came out to say, oh, he apologizes to Nigerians because they had fielded a very terrible candidate and all that, and now he has entered ATC and these problems have begun again. So what is the future of the opposition? How prepared are they? Because, okay, you are in your capacity as the spokesperson for the coalition of united political parties. What do you think the opposition will look like in the days coming?
I must say and I must confess that I am deeply saddened by the turn of events and the Falcons. I don't hear the Falconer situation that the opposition is largely in. For the ADC, as a political party, my worry is the fact that we have heavy political heavyweight in the ADC, all of whom are interested in becoming the president of this country. So, rather than come together and have a united front and a united force to come up, I think we need to learn a lot of lessons from the APC. You know, they're coming together in 2015. Look at what they did. They came together from around 2012, 2013. Then see what they did in 2015 election. We have had enough time for the past 10 years to come together to have a very formidable. I mean, the Buhari was there as president for 8 years. He did terrible. In fact, it was horrible. And the opposition was unable to unseat him. Well, 2019 election, if you go back to 2019 elections, you will know that actually, sincerely, Atiku won that election, but it was manipulated. But the opposition still lost. So, we still lost. So, coming 2023, we had enough time to have formed a much more formidable opposition against the APC. But what happened? Well, Peter Obi left PDP, and there was no way either of them could have won the presidency against a person like Tinubu. If they had come together, look at what another issue of Peter Obi. People talk. Look, I am no longer a member of the Labour Party. I do not consider myself an obedient, but give or take, in this country today, in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the most popular, naturally popular opposition politician, opposition presidential aspirant in this country today is Peter Obi. Peter Obi is the only presidential candidate or presidential aspirant in this country today that you can confidently say that you go anywhere, any part of this country, including the north, and can walk the street of any state without security and will still be protected by the people, welcomed by the people, and not be booed. You see, look, by now, this is 2026. Election is barely 1 year to come, 1 year away. One would have expected us that there will be a united front and that every look and kind of this country, from the polling unit level to world level to local government level to state level. I have been advocating for this for I don't know how long. There should be organization. You have to be organized. You have to be organized. Forget about, look, when you talk about structures, this overbloated issue of the structures. Peter Obi, let's assume and agree that Peter Obi did not have any structures in 2023. But look at what he did. He was not a sitting governor. He was not a sitting minister. He was not a sitting vice president. This man came from nowhere. Look, I won't say he came from nowhere. He was a governor. Now, he went to Labour Party that very few people knew existed. And look at what he achieved. If he builds on that strength, and in comparison to the terrible performance of this government, if there is a united front to support him everywhere, imagine Atiku supporting Peter Obi. Imagine Rotimi Amaechi supporting Peter Obi. Imagine Rufai supporting Peter Obi. Imagine all the people who say they want to run supporting one candidate, coming together to support one candidate. Don't forget, like I did say, it's not as if it's not as if I am an obedient, but I'm saying the reality here. So, but there is no power of unity, there is no power of organization beyond one candidate. But I say Peter Obi remains the most popular of all the presidential candidates in this country today. So now, probably one of the most intelligent presidential aspirants in this country today is Prince Adewale Adebayo. The man, if you care to listen to him, if you care to look at his manifesto, if you care to listen to his analysis of what the country, how the country can be run, how the economy can be fixed, how the insecurity can be fixed, how the issue of arrested development can be reversed, you know that he has it upstairs. He's cerebrally sound, and you can see some truth. You can see patriotism in him. You can see truth in him. You can see the fact that this is someone is that. So those two candidates, those two aspirants, will get my vote any day. But all others, I don't know. But we just need to come together. Nigerians must find a new direction. We have to find a new direction in our politics. We have to look for a new direction in our elections. We have to get a new direction in terms of our leadership recruitment processes. We must stop exchanging our food for 10,000 naira, for 5,000 naira, for a bag of rice, for a module of rice, for 2 tomatoes, for 1 milk. We must stop. There must be a new direction in the way we do things in this country. And that is the only way to get out of these doldrums.
Yeah, the recruitment process is a very, very, very important thing. And right now, the National Assembly is talking about it. And we've seen some provisions within that bill or that law that need to be changed. And the National Assembly has blatantly said that they were not going to change it. maybe like moving from one party to the other, how you can lose your seat, electronic transmission of votes and all that, the important things that Nigerians need. And they are saying they are not going to do that. They are going to change other things that we don't even know about. What is the coalition of united political parties? Okay, let me not use that. What is the opposition doing to make sure that these laws are changed for the better? These laws are changed in such a way that Nigerians will believe that any election conducted in Nigeria will be transparent.
Well, you cannot expect, permit me to use this analogy, you cannot expect to have a good law against rape, for instance, if 90% of the panel to set up the law are rapists themselves. If you want to set up a tough law against rape, you make sure you do a thorough background check and make sure that none of the members of the panel is either a retired rapist or an active rapist. So that you can have a good law. You cannot have a good set of laws against election rigging, against election manipulation, against the kind of bad behavior that you just mentioned of people just leaving one political party to the other without any consequences. Because look at it, the majority of the people currently at the National Assembly are either the campaigns from one party to another. And then when you have a rubber stamp for a National Assembly like we do, you see that we have been shouting about making it a law, making it mandatory for the for INEC to make electronic transmission of results mandatory. Not that it may, but that it shall in the law. So, but National Assembly doesn't want to do anything about it. If anything, what they want to do is to enable election criminality by the fact that you can get elected on the platform of one party yesterday, and today, when you sit in power, you decamp the following day. You abandon the platform that gave you opportunity to have won election because the people believe in that political party, the people believe in the manifestos of that party, and then they voted for you, and then you came to power, and then the following day, the following week, the following year, you dump that party and go to the party in power at the center. It must be criminalized by whatever means, because it is a sign of a deception. You deceive the people, you come to the people with the political party, with its logo, with its manifesto and everything, and then the people voted for you, and then you migrate unceremoniously to another political party because that party is in power. And then if you look at the majority of the people who are decamping and going to the party in power at the center, they are running away from their own shadows. They are running away from the EFCC and ICPC and whatever corrupt thing they have done. Yes, that because you have no reason whatsoever to say you want to dump your party and go to another political party, because when you get there, like the former chairman of APC said, His Excellency former Governor Oshiomodi, that if you decamp to APC, your sins are forgiven. EFCC will not run after you anymore, because the EFCC has become an instrument of punishment for the people that do not seem to align with the party in power. We can come out and speak boldly like this because we have no skeletons in our cupboard, and there is nothing the EFCC can come at us for, because our hands are clean, and so that is why we will be able to continue. We will continue to stand up to power. We will continue to call them out and begin to demand they do the right things for Nigerians and for Nigeria to progress very well. I am not optimistic whatsoever that the current National Assembly will want to do anything in terms of the Electoral Act to ensure that we have a more dependable and robust electoral processes to elect the people into power who Nigerians have chosen, and that our vote will count irrespective of that. at the level of the New Direction for Nigeria movement and the CUPP, we want to encourage all Nigerians of qualified age to go and register, not just to register, but to vote. A situation whereby you see 22 million registered voters, but 4 million coming out to vote is the reason why rigging is very easy in this country. That is the reason. Because you see, if the differential is just like 1 million, 1 million plus, it's very easy for them to take someone from the fourth position and run him over the entire nation and say that is the winner. It is very easy to manipulate the numbers. But imagine, out of 22 million registered voters, for instance, and 21 came out to vote, and out of the 21 that came out to vote, 18 million people voted for one particular candidate. There is no way you want to manipulate that election without creating very serious crisis in the country. They will not even touch it. They will not go there. But they know that there is a voter apathy, massive voter apathy, and then you can't blame Nigerians for the voter apathy. It is because over the years they have come to realize that no matter what they do, standing in the sun, standing in the sunshine or in the rain, the results do not reflect their choice at the polls, that the elections are widely manipulated, and that is why we have been clamoring for our electoral processes, our electoral laws to be amended in a way that it will make rigging very difficult. But even at that, if people register en masse and come out to vote en masse, it becomes extremely difficult for the riggers to get away with their criminality. So I want to encourage Nigerians, if we want a better government, if we want a better governor, if we want Nigeria to be governed in a better way, in a way that will suit all of us, the only way we can do it is through voting for the right candidate. We have to come out. Let us overwhelm the rigging machinery with overwhelming voting. Let's vote for a particular candidate of our choice. If we do the same in the northeast, we do the same in the northeast, north central, southwest, south, southeast, massively voting for one particular candidate that all of us have chosen, and that we can see that about 80 to 90% of the postcards are for a particular candidate. They will never dare to rig such an election. They will never dare to rig such an election. But the opposition candidate that is going to win in the next election, because they cannot afford that affliction will rise a second time, that will win in the second election. By now, I expect a major shift. I expect by now, any opposition candidate that's going to win in next year, by now I expect his presence in every nook and cranny of this country, in terms of people, in terms of supporters, in terms of structures, outside party line. And that is what we have been advocating. But it doesn't seem that, look, a bad candidate will win election if he's determined enough, if he's better organized, if he's better at propaganda, if he's better at organizing the people around the purpose, organizing the people around the vision. It is not enough for you to be speaking on television, to be speaking on Twitter, to be speaking on social media without touching the people, without touching base with the people. Yes, elections have not started. Electioneering has not started. The campaign cannot start. But nothing stops you from moving from one place to the other. Talking to the people. You can talk to people about the issue of security. You can talk to people about the issue of economy. You can have people outside party lines, organize them in every ward of this country, and then prepare them for election. 2 years ago, everywhere you go in this country, from 2 years ago, you see the posters of the current president making the electoral law and telling the people he's going to run in 2027. Of course, they will deny that they are not they are behind it. But you say some people, some supporters, but you are the candidate, you tell them to stop, but you have never told them to stop. Posters everywhere, billboards everywhere. Since 2 years ago, barely 1 year into his tenure, already you have seen billboards everywhere. Why the opposition likely have kept quiet, only when they're talking once in a while on radio, on TV, and these are especially the candidates. They need to. You have to have the power of organization, and power of the capacity for counter propaganda. I consider that you are not doing that enough. Press conferences, press releases, they do little or nothing. People that are hungry, they don't watch TV, they do very especially in the southern part of the country. It is mostly of course radio is doing wonderfully well because radio is more accessible. People are doing that, but we are even on that area, we are not doing enough. We need to come together forcefully. Look, I am not one to hide behind one finger and say, oh, opposition is doing this. We are not doing nearly enough. If we are, the government is disappointing Nigerians, the government is letting Nigerians down. The opposition is doing the same thing because we are not educating the masses enough. We are not galvanizing the masses enough.
What are some of the challenges that are making the opposition not to do enough? Are there things that are preventing them from doing enough?
I just told you about Falcon cannot hear the Falcon. And then whether there are challenges, whether there are issues, holding back the opposition. It's not look, I don't buy excuses. We shouldn't be giving excuses. The same way that we are saying the government should not be giving excuses, the opposition must be much more active. We come out, talking, come out, maybe criticizing the government. Yes, we do that. But we are still not doing enough. We are not doing enough, and I'm not here to give excuses on behalf of the opposition for that. We are not doing enough. We need to do enough. We need to do more than enough to organize the people, to educate the people, And well, in terms of talking about the realities in the country, still out of all the presidential aspirants, Peter Obi comes first. He speaks, he moves around, he tweets, he talks boldly, home and abroad, and he may not be doing enough, but he has the best organized, organic opposition movement in this country called the Obedient Movement. Headed by Dr. Tanko Yunusa, a very good friend of mine. I want more opposition candidates and aspirants to do that. Organize around your vision, if you have one. Organize around your manifesto, if you have one. And let people, decide where they want to go. That is it. So challenges, yes, there are challenges. In fact, the government, oftentimes, they don't like opposition. They don't like you talking about their bad policies. They don't like you talking about the bad way they are running the country. But whether they like it or not, it doesn't stop you from talking. It does. Under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 has amended, you have your freedom of speech, provided you are not inflaming passion, provided you are not talking in a treasonous way, provided you are not acting like a terrorist, provided you are not, moving one ethnic nationality against the other, one religion against the other, provided you are just speaking and criticizing the government and telling the government what is not doing well, and even telling yourselves as citizens what you are not doing well. There is no crime you are committing. If they come after you, then you go and fight it out in the court of law. And I know justice will take its rightful place. Even though all of us know in this country that unfortunately the judicial machinery has been largely compromised by the ruling cabal. Quite unfortunate. But doesn't stop us from doing the right thing.
Okay. Let's touch on security a bit as the time is running. Security seems to be dwindling even the more. We have incidents of ISWAP now bombing places in Plateau State and saying, convert to Islam or die. They burned down a Christian village in Adamawa, and there was also killing in Plateau and all that. And even now, Riley Moore has raised alarm over ISIS threats in Nigeria. Remember Riley Moore that came to do verification and all that. So he has raised alarm again in the same country that we denied that there's no Christian genocide, there's no killings, it's not as bad as it's being painted and all that. So how would you assess the security situation? Do we even hope to have a headway in this 2026, or we'll keep waiting for Donald Trump to come and strike?
Not under this president of Nigeria. Will you expect any improved security situation? They are doing virtually nothing about it. You know, I had expected that there would be a kind of spike in the operations against terrorists, bandits, and kidnappers all over the country. You know, I had expected. In fact, nothing will have been done. Even the little you are saying now is because of Donald Trump. It's because of Donald Trump. If not for that single tweet on Truth Social that Donald Trump made, forget it. But the president and his people and his handlers were not even preparing anything against the security in the country. All they are preparing for is about the 2027 election. They don't care about how many people are kidnapped. They don't care how many people are maimed. They don't care how many people are raped. They don't care how many people are killed. They didn't want to do anything. It was when Donald Trump now said, look, we are coming in, guns are blazing. That was when they felt threatened. And they did some kind of, some little bit, skeletal effort to spool a serious president, a serious administration will have embarked on the massive recruitment and training of citizens to move against these people. You know, we need minimum of 500,000 soldiers and other paramilitary forces to be able to wipe these people out. You have a 1 year program that, okay, this is what we do. This is how we will wipe out these people from north to south. You get rid of them massively. You know, you can get support. It is because if you don't run your home very well, even as a family man, other people from outside will come and run it for you. That is what we are seeing now. It's because from government to government, even from Jonathan to the current period, they did not handle the issue of insecurity and terrorism and banditry well. That was what gave America the opportunity to say, look, we'll come and do it for you. For the spike in the terrorist attacks in Plateau, Bauchi, Adamawa, and Co., that was expected. Even for anybody will know that, even people will know that there will be a counter from the Boko Haram or other terrorist organizations because of what they suffered in Sokoto, the losses they suffered in Sokoto State recently due to American bombing. That everybody knew that, but the government was not prepared for that. They are supposed to know that will come, and they are supposed to have taken precautionary measures against that. But it's either they don't know what to do at all, or they are not doing it well. And before I leave the issue of insecurity, whatever kinetic or non-kinetic measures you are going to take, until the government goes after the sponsors of terrorism in this country, that we will never see the end of it. We are told that the government has a list of sponsors of terrorism and banditry in this country. For the past 10 years, they have the list, but none of them has been arrested. The battle against terrorism is not only won on the battlefield. It has to be won because you have to cut off their supply line, their supply chain. And one thing to do that is that you go after their major sponsors. And we are told that some of the major sponsors are even in the corridors of power. Maybe that is why the government is not willing to go after them. So there's complicity at the highest level in the operations of terrorism and banditry in this country. That is why you have not seen any de-escalation in terms of their empowerment or equipment and their capacity to be able to attack even military formations and get away with it. They have to go after the sponsors of these people, of these terrorists, for us to have a British state in this country. Go after the sponsors. You have the list. You know them. You know where they live. You know where they are based. some of them are members of their political parties. Let them go after these people, no matter how powerful they may be. If they don't do that, they'll just be wasting our time and wasting the citizens who will be losing their lives every day. It's quite unfortunate. What is the government afraid of? Why has the government not gone after the sponsors of terror in this country? Why? They should be able to come out and tell us. They have the list. They said they have the list. UAE submitted some list. European Union submitted some list. DSS submitted some list. BIA submitted some list. NIA submitted some list to the government. Why are they not going after the people named on that list? Look at the way General what's his name was killed. Somebody gave his coordinates and he went after the general and shot him unceremoniously. For how long are we going to pretend? Are we going to continue to pretend as if things are going well in this country? For how long? How many people more are going to die? How many people more are going to be kidnapped? How many people more are going to be raped before the government wakes up and do something?
Okay.
About this situation?
Yeah. Okay. Let's just take a final one before we open the lines for others to call. On before we let you go, sir. National Assembly to release certified tax bills and amid gazetted discrepancy claims. So they are about to release it now, and they've opened the register for people to for the clerk of the National Assembly to explain or to give account of how people voted and all that, and then they are trying to make sure that people see it as a transparent process. So they are now going to release certified tax bills amid gazette discrepancy. People are already paying this tax, as it were, because they said 1st of January. That means it has already begun since yesterday. So if they're paying the tax already and they're doing this that they should have done a long time ago, how do we reconcile this? What is the opposition? What are Nigerians supposed to do about this? National Association of Nigerian Students already is mobilizing for a protest, and maybe a few other groups and all that. But is that enough?
Well, it's not just about now. All Nigerians must protest against this illegality. Anybody paying any taxes under that fake law, is a fake gazetted law, is paying illegal taxes. It is illegal. It is unconstitutional because it is a fraudulent document that was gazetted, and the government is guilty of a crime of forgery and perjury, for which this government is extremely notorious. We should refuse to pay an illegal set of taxes because it is a fraudulent document that was gazetted. So on that basis, we must resist. Our resistance must be that we will not pay. We will not pay. We should not pay. Corporate or individuals, we should not pay until the proper law that was passed by the combined sitting of the National Assembly is the one gazetted. The one gazetted now is of no consequence on the basis of its inconsistency with the laws, with the bills passed at the National Assembly. So we don't have a tax law yet. We don't have a tax act yet. The one gazetted is a fraudulent and a fake document that all Nigerians must discountenance and we must not respect. I will not pay. Let them take me to court. I will not pay. And I will encourage nobody to pay. Whether they start from January 1 or whatever they want to start, they have come out to say there were errors, Well, for the first time, the Robert Samson National Assembly was able to do something. At least they raised an alarm. This is why opposition is a vibrant element of any thriving democracy. But they want to turn Nigeria into a one-party state, and we will not accept that. We will not agree to that. Okay. So this tax law, we don't have a tax law yet. Nigerians should just ignore it, discountenance it, and nobody should support illegality and criminality in the name of a gazetted law. Yes, it was gazetted, but it is a fraudulent document that was gazetted. And if it was a fraud, it stands no chance to stand under judicial scrutiny. Okay. That is my position about that.
All right. Thank you very much, Comrade Adebayo, for your time this morning. It's always a pleasure having you join us. Okay, join me, because I think this is the first time you're talking on Voice of the People.
Voice of the people. I even feel, I believe it's not at first sight.
Yeah.
When you say voice of the people,
Yes.
voice of the people, and I just love that nomenclature. And your own pedigree has always anchoring programs that speak to national issues, and that always advocating for good governance, justice, and equity in the country. And you always anchor programs that speak for the masses. You deserve a national award. As a matter of fact, you deserve an international award.
Thank you very much, Comrade.
And CAPP will see to that anyway, in due course.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Adebayo.
Thank you, I'm good. Happy New Year.
Same to you. Have a wonderful day.
And you too.
Okay, we've been talking with Comrade Mark Adebayo. He is the national spokesman, CUPP. That's the Coalition of United Political Parties of Nigeria. That's the national spokesman. And then he also is the convener of New Direction for Nigeria movement. He's been talking to us about sundry issues, but especially about the role of the opposition and how we stand in the next election circle. Okay, so we're opening the lines now. Sorry, we've eaten like 8 minutes of your time, and don't be angry. That's how it is. We had this opportunity today, so we had to milk it as much as we can. Or as much as we could. So the lines are still the same: 0700 903 903 903, 0700 903 903 903, or 080 36 92 9933, 080 36 92 9933. If it's WhatsApp you want to send us a message on, it's 081 7175 6338, 081 7175 6338. So call us now or send that message to us. Let's open it with messages. First of all, Nyamgul Petran is complaining of losses because they no longer create artificial scarcity of petrol and suffer Nigerians while its members smile to the banks. The market forces will determine the price of petrol. This is from Dominic here in Lagos. Okay, we have this one from outside this country. It's worrisome to learn that threat issues by the radical Islamic terrorist group ISWAP against Christians in Adamawa State. The actions of the U.S. military against these terrorists must be sustained, and more strikes by the Nigerian army is required to flush and crush these Fulani jihadists. Meanwhile, Nigerians must join hands together to rescue the nation from the failed APC-led federal government, which inflicted immeasurable hardship and poverty on the citizens. The PDP as party seems to be dead. A dead horse at this point. May God help and heal our land. Frank Onero is writing this from the USA. It's easy to always blame the ruling party for causing trouble in the opposition party, but my question is, why would the opposition parties not do their things well? Why did Peter Obi not register in his ward instead of Enugu? The opposition always gives the ruling party avenue to raise their ugly head. And this is from Steve Ikelu from Maryland. He said Peter Obi remains the man to beat in 2027, but he should be wary of Labour Party. They are working for the ruling party. For once, kudos to Senator Akpabio for the initiative to withdraw all suits against his political opponents. This is a good step towards a healing process. He can now breathe a fresh air. Others should copy him. The new tax reform is evil. Let's collectively, legitimately say no to this regime in 2027. Okay, thank you very much, Steve Ikelu. And then a final one before we take the call. Sorry. ADC shouldn't allow APC plant moles amongst them. Those criticizing Obi's registration are part of them. I pray Atiku does the needful by supporting Obi, even as I plead with Utomi to be calm. From GNI build to Arena Market down. Okay, GNI building to Arena Market down to Ikotun electronics shop, markets gutted by the fire since 24th of December. Where next? Igbos, are you thinking Ojuzo Kalu should go and sit somewhere? He has a bad record and can't win any free and fair elections. What does Wike want from Fubara even after joining APC. Nnamdi Kanu deserves freedom, and federal government should face the real terrorists, arrest and prosecute Gumi. Where's Leah Sharibu? And Happy New Year, Donald Trump. The no-nonsense presido. Now, man, you be. Chijoke from Isolo sent this in. Okay. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Right, okay, Patrick is calling from Okota.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead.
All right. The issue of convert to Islam or you die, I think the agenda is getting very, very clear now. The issue of Islamization of Nigeria has been on ground over time. And then 10 years of APC rulership in Nigeria is trying to actually make it come to pass. When Buhari left, APC now came out with Muslim ticket, and the whole country kept quiet. You can now begin to see the result. Islamic State of West Africa, how has this organization allowed? How was it has been allowed to prosper and progress to the state? Now they can now tell us that convert to Islam or we kill you. Is it not the failure of the leadership? Is it not the conspiracy theory that has been there on the ground? Then like they converted Turkey to become Islamic country, to get the agenda they want to implement, because they made Usman Danfodio, they are just told them that once you convert Nigeria and the rest of Africa can be conquered. I think we can now see it very clear. A list of 400 Nigerians sponsoring terrorism was sent from Dubai to Nigeria. Up to today, Buhari start on it. Enugu has come on board now. He has said nothing about it. He told us that the vice president, Shetima, will be in charge of security, while he will be in charge of economy. Today, where is Shetima? Where is he? We cannot hear nothing about him today. It is very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Let Nigerians rise up now. Those who call themselves CAN, those who call themselves Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, they are there. Let them speak out now before all of us will fall into a big pit under these criminals called jihadists. I don't think I will tolerate it, and my children will never become Muslim. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just for clarification, it's Shetima that said he would be in charge of security and Tinubu will be in charge of economy, because I remember very well that Nigerians were also asking, is it not the commander-in-chief that is supposed to be in charge of security? And according to law, or at least an agreement, the vice president is always in charge of the economy. So why is it that Shetima is saying this? Is he telling us indirectly that he's going to be the de facto president and not Tinubu? Okay, so that's just for the purpose of clarity. It's Shetima who said it. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Happy New Year.
Same to you, my brother.
Thanks for neighbor.
Okay, go ahead.
If you said it was, let me say, mentioning Ibe Kachuku's law. It is his brother, Levin Kachuku. It's not Ibe Kachuku. Ibe Kachuku was his senior brother, the past
I remember.
Minister for State for Petroleum. So concerning P2B, it's clear now that Atiku has stepped down for P2B. P2B is the consensus candidate of ADC now.
How do you know that?
That is just the thing. So all the people who are fighting for Atiku should know that Atiku is no longer fighting. They not have adopted P2B now for ADC. So anything APC, let them be doing. Yeah, P2B is a small boy to go to Enugu and register. You see Enugu register and you put your I say that you're going to, when you put part of the country you like, you go there and register. Now, so far as the register is from your ward. I think you understand me. The register is from your ward. And if you like, you carry it and go to Abuja. So far as it is your school register they took from your ward. Your address, God will bless your address. They make my call this morning very easy because I don't even have anything to say again. Your address has said everything. Who doesn't have capacity to rule this country, and anybody that is supporting to, if you check that person very well, anybody that wants you to continue 2027, either that person has stolen money now, or he's still stealing, or he stole before. That is the only thing. Person is defending his own personal interest, not We will be happy to see Nigerians dying of starvation, dying of poverty, dying of hunger. Nigerians cannot enter farmland to farm, and the president doesn't even care. People are dying, it doesn't give care. He was doing your people were trapped. People were trapped. They said, Mr. President, to make sure you order there, say, go and do everything possible to rescue those souls. He was celebrating, and people were, his house turned to Mecca, and people were in the rubble. Nigerians, people that voted for him, dying and crying. Well, we don't value human life. I said that he lacked leadership qualities, which is love, kindness, caring, compassion, sincerity, humility, and the sacrifice. They lack all these things. There is no one he possesses. He doesn't have the capacity, which is emotional intelligence, which is number one is emotional intelligence. You have health, good health. You have a physical fitness. You have acquired skills. Then you have smartness. They will share gratification. It's not supposed to be Nigerian president. Somebody to be saying that we are fighting for him for what? Look at what we are paying now, $12.7 billion. That many Nigeria to be talking of tax, and only producing country. That they sold their oil up front. That for years, these people Afensim Bank Egypt will be taking our oil. All the vessels that took oil will be heading there to Afensim Bank Egypt. $3 billion military gave to Tinubu as upfront payment. Oil they have no mine. So everyone they are mining now, they are taking it to Egypt. Major part of our oil. Very few 1.4 trillion oil they are mining. The major part of it is heading to Afensim Bank to $12.7 billion. How can you borrow $3 billion and you are repaying $12.7 billion? What type of business will you do? If somebody handle your business like that, we need that person to continue. Look at Chelsea coach now that was sacked. His first position in the table, and the World Club World Cup, he have achieved a lot, and yet they sack him. Talk less of the man that brought Nigeria on their knees to zero. So many souls are dying every day. People are dying, and you are talking of supporting him. He will complete his 8 years. Which one is his 8 years? Which type of country will support this man in this world to say continue doing what? And they are not collecting money from poverty, from starvation. Why are you collecting money from people you have never encouraged? There is no enabling environment. You destroy 7.2 million business. Which business will pay you the tax now? And the oil are supposed to be of help for us in greater. Before they give Nigeria, they give NNPC 400,000 barrels of crude to go and refine for Nigeria. You know?
Yeah, I can hear you.
They give us 400,000 barrels, but now nobody knows about it again. If you carry 400,000 barrels and give to Dangote and say refine it for Nigeria, I'm telling you, fuel will not be up to 200 naira per liter. But it is corruption everywhere. Thank you very much. I've said my mind.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day and Happy New Year. Okay, this message is saying, good morning, VOP. I agree absolutely with the analysis by this erudite analyst on Prince Adebayo's claims on PBAD's governance grading of 2025, except for the fact that the analyst, claims PBAD to be political master strategies. As far as I'm concerned, PBAD is not, by PBAD it means President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As far as I'm concerned, PBAD is not and never an outstanding political strategist. What I see about him is Tinubu, is a good destroyer of good initiatives. Also, he's a great destroyer of good democratic vision because he has the financial monument as in having access to the Nigerian hard-earned taxpayers' money. His destructive mindset and free money availability, that makes him look as though he's a political master strategist. Agege from Agege sent this in. Good morning, VOP. My name is Comfort from Isala. Okay, we have some comfort coming our way this morning. Enough of temporary fixes. Nigeria needs solutions, not sweet promises. Let's rise up and demand lasting change for better infrastructure, security, and economic growth. The real problem won't solve itself. Let's tackle it head on. Okay, Nigeria deserves better is the hashtag she used. And thank you very much. Like our analyst this morning said, all of us should get our PVCs, get ready to vote, conscientize people, educate people, because where people vote massively, rigging is difficult. So if there are 1 million people that need to vote and 980 people vote for a particular person, just imagine if the unpopular person comes to rig, it will be very, very difficult. The fear will not even allow him. Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Yango.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, God bless you.
You too.
Yeah, first of all, let me wish my Oga Donald Trump, the world leader. Happy New Year, sir. I get hear my voice wherever he is. He's a good man. Thank God for that man. Thank God, thank God, thank God. A man that does not pretend. A man when he has not attained his throne. He said that me, I will cancel homosexual, I will cancel lesbianism, and I will stop abortion. He said it, and I'm going to fight the war of the between the Mexican for the users not to come to my country and sell drugs anymore. But because of the cost of the price of this, he said, please, I cannot carry it anymore. That is a leader. God bless him. Let me also thank him again. If not him, by now, Sunday Jackson, am I right? He would have been judgment by that. He would have been judgment. God bless him for keeping that young man alive. And today, Jackson is free. I don't know the lawyer. Oh God, God will help Nigeria. God will help Nigeria. Then the bombing in Adamawa and the governor of church in Adamawa and the Plateau State. Let him know that there is jihadis and there is a Christian massacre in the course of making Islamic state or whatever is happening in Nigeria. Let make the pastor Kuka. Let Kuka know that yes, there is genocide in Nigeria against the Christian race. And I pray a last caller say his children will not become a big pet. Or that I know will tell you a lie. You see that man that promised God say, if I go to war, if I defeat my enemy, this one I'm going to. And who was his enemy was Israel. And anything that I stand on my way as I'm coming, I will sacrifice to you. Do you know it? The person that came to welcome that man is the really beautiful daughter, and the man of the daughter's head. Let me tell the theatrists and the so-called politicians that the same man is in Nigeria. By the grace of God, I'm one of them. I cannot come and meet them. That is just it. God bless you, Nigeria, my brother.
God bless you too. Okay, good morning. There is news that the ISWAP terrorists are burning Christians' houses and slaughtering them like ram in Adamawa State if they refuse to accept Islam and the federal government is silent. This is from Leo. Okay, well, we're yet to get a statement from the government. Maybe it will come. From Ijanikin, Tunde Karim is saying, bro, I greet you. I concur with Mark Adebayo on Obi, moving freely without escort. I dare devil bat Remy Baja Ononuga Sheyi Kekerekun Akpabio Oyedele and other Tinubu sycophants who believe for 2.5 years they had done well by their own self-scorecard. Let them attempt to travel by road or attempt to go to Ariaria and Onitsha Market, Agege, Tejuosho, Ojuelegba, Jimeta Market, Just Terminus Market, Kanu, Sabo Market without securities escort. And let's see what the resultant effects will be. Visionless administration, always putting the cart before the horse, using his toothless bulldogs to fight his non-supporters, political opponents. Okay, Tunde, thank you for your message. This one is saying, Mary from Okaifa is saying that INEC should speak out to us what they will do so that our vote will count to our choice candidates and what they will do to prevent vote buying. Okay. And Obedoji is saying, this analyst, Comrade Mark Adebayo, has spoken so well, particularly about the need for a serious, consistent, well-coordinated, and galvanized opposition. All right, thank you for the commendation. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Innocent. I'm calling from Amuad of State.
Well done, Innocent. Go ahead.
Please, this one they say we should join Islamic or we die. That one is it proper? Our government is not talking. Mean that way, if our government cannot talk, we are expecting Israel to come. Because it's only Israel no language these people hear very well. Let Israel come. If they are not want anything, let Israel come to Nigeria. Either Nigeria government invite them or not, let them come and rescue Christians. That is not that. And those who say the Obi is traveling without escort, Obi have been removed his escort. Is it not we said everybody said that they are recall all the police. It's only few people the police, the vice president and the former president and the senate president and others. So they does not have this, and I know that this law they made to withdraw police is not because of better of Nigeria, it's because of obedience, so that we cannot go where you want to go and campaign this 2026 to 2027. That is why these people in power is removing this police. Because if the police is for our own personal use, why have pocket of killing different states? Those police they withdraw from people. Why they go and fight those people? Upon that, we are still having the killing, Kwara, they killing Nodo, they killing on this thing, and those police have been withdrawn. This thing, I'm telling you the truth, is because of this opposition people like Obidem. They don't want them to go with the police. They want them to go and campaign so that small kids will go and pour them water. They will tell you yes, make them to be fearless. And for the Imo State, they are talking about peace. My brother, it's not because of what they call it. It's not because of Carlo and the others. Maybe it's only 2%. The problem is if the government of Imo State want peace, and for Imo State, if they want peace to be in Imo State, all of us supposed to travel. Because of the governors and others, it's from the number 4 to number 1. And you know he will fight everything to defend his whatever wrong he did to get that place. And with the bad what they have done to people of Southeast is when they took that power to that person. That is the war. That is where the calamity of crisis started from Southeast. 75% of problem of Southeast started from there. Because that man fight to defend whatever he took from wherever he took it. So Nigeria government we are blaming them, not Igbo, not Southeast. It's Nigeria government. I wish Buhari government did not do this thing. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. God bless you too. Okay, so we're taking a break now, and as usual, we'll come back at 10:30. So all your calls and messages, we're hoping to take them at that point. But it's been wonderful, right, till this moment. So don't go away. At 10:30, we'll be back. We're giving way now to Igbo Amaka.
Yesterday, now's the time for us to say